Hi, this is Jim Cranston from 7 Every Minute and 7everyminute.com, the podcast and website all about reimagining your life. Thanks for joining me tonight for some general thoughts on how to work on your own goals starting today, no matter how late you think you are. So let's get started. If you like what you hear tonight, please leave a like and tell your friends and send me a message. So tonight's going to be a mixture of a little bit of scripting and then some extemporaneous things for a variety of reasons, and I'll explain why. But I plan to continue with the goal setting. However, the day just led me in pretty much a completely different direction. One of the thoughts I often have, and possibly you do too, is kind of being concerned about, will I get something done before my time on Earth moves on to its next phase? Now, that can mean many things. For example, I'm very fortunate. I have generally good health, but that can always change. So I often wonder if I'm maximizing my value to others with my current suite of abilities. Now, I realize that every phase brings its own superpowers, but I certainly don't want to waste the opportunities I'm being given right now. Things like, are my priorities right? Am I spending my time doing the right sorts of things? And I look around often at other people and say, Jay, they have a really pretty lawn, but I spend time doing other things and helping people learn English. And this isn't to pat somebody on the back or whatever, just they and I have different priorities. Just that's the way it is. So are my priorities consistent with my goals? Am I spending enough time with my family? And the answer to that, frankly, is no. And so why is that? And granted, they're a distance away, but there are ways to solve that, right? Like moving. Am I sharing and compassionate enough? That's something where you have to look at that internally and decide if you're living up to your own expectations. Faith, no matter how you define it, whether you're just aware of nature or whether you think, a very orthodox religion, no matter how you define your faith. And I would encourage anyone to have some sense of a being, whether it's the common mindset of the entire world that you live in, or whether it's something more abstract like a god or whatever. But you should have some guiding, not changing thing guiding your life. Are you following your dreams? All these sorts of priorities where have I been really focusing on the right ones and really making the most of them? Because things like relaxation and stuff, those are very important too. And that's another area where probably I don't spend enough time, because when you relax, then you rejuvenate and you're better for everyone at that point. So it's relaxing isn't wasting time, but you have to be mindful about how you do it. Just hanging out, doing nothing, for some people is very rejuvenating or encouraging, and it gets them all pumped up. For me, it drives me insane. But going for a hike, a really pretty place, taking 300 pictures and pestering all my friends with pictures from where I was, that's a lot of fun. So we all have different ways we get through life, and it's up to each one of us to look at those and say, wow, am I really living my life in a way that makes me feel fulfilled? So as it happened today, was just a particularly, especially contentious day of work. It set a new record by far. And then it also happens that this coming Thursday through Sunday of this week, I'll be attending a Tony Robbins Unleash Your Power Within event, which I'm super excited about. First time I've done that. I was on kind of a mini one a few weeks back. I think I mentioned that. And so I have a lot of high expectations, both from that event and for me. And in April, I'm planning to attend an in-person James Wedmore event. I've mentioned James Wedmore in the past quite often, and he's one of my mentors. And those are always super motivating. Plus, I'm super anxious to get working far more in this podcast and the courses for 7 Every Minute and all of that. And like I said, maybe move closer to the kids and the grandkids. Now, if you're listening, which of those 4 items is totally inconsistent with the others? Yeah, one of them is getting to be completely unaligned with the rest of them. But, aren't I too old to start a whole new career path? Shouldn't I have done this years ago? These are the sorts of thoughts that our brain puts in our head to kind of keep us safe. It's like, well, I got a job and the job really is pretty good. And, do you really want to go try and start a new career path? Do you really want to move at this age? I mean, people around here, right? So your brain's always trying to keep you safe and keep you from changing. But, yes, maybe I am old and maybe, and old, by the way, I should point this out, is kind of a relative term. A lot of my audience and the people I speak with, yes, they are baby boomers, millennials, people of that age, but Gen Xers, but it's not really age is relative to where you were. So when you're in your 20s, 30 seems quite old. So now you're turning 30 and say, if I was going to start traveling the world, I should have done it when I was 20 before I started having kids. Or if you're 40, say, I should have started that pension fund when I was 30 because now it's kind of too late. So I don't know if it's worth starting. And you've probably heard the saying, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the second best time is today, right? We're never too old to redefine our future. It may be a different redefinition than what we would have done 10 or 20 or 30 years ago, but we're wiser now, and we're probably better able to pick a path that's truly satisfying and fulfilling to ourselves. So the big takeaway for tonight is, if you've been wishing to do something different or start something new, but haven't because it's too late, well, I encourage you to ignore the time factor completely and then decide if it's worth a try. I know the new realities as we age, whether we just turned 60 or just turned 30 with kids, doesn't matter how old we are. But pretty much always, the best time to start to live your best life is right now. So like just a little short one this evening, it's something that's really been percolating around. And I was writing down things that were coming up and I thought, this is just lining up in such a way that it's kind of silly to ignore it. And I really thought it was worth sharing with you all. So that's it for the evening. Good luck. Happy envisioning your future. That's it for today. I send you all good wishes. Please remember the war in Ukraine. Super, super, super important. I say that every week, and every week it is true. So lots of ways to donate there. Donate in humanitarian ways and more proactive ways, however you feel comfortable, even if you just talk about it to other people. It kind of comes and goes in the news, but it never goes to the people either in Ukraine or affiliated in any way with that family there, friends there, whatever. Please, please, please think about that. ukr7.com. That's where you can go to donate. Please consider making a donation to help them. And of course, always I mention that there's a link to World Central Kitchen there, wck.org, another wonderful humanitarian group. They just prepare meals for people in need. Super good. Remember, one of the best ways to care for yourself is to care for others. So if you can and you're able, please check it out as ukr7.com. As always, thank you for stopping by. If you found something interesting or useful, please pass it along. Please hit that like button. If not, please drop me a comment as to what you'd like to hear. I meant to mention this earlier, and I didn't. But also, I'm going to be doing probably more things on Instagram coming up. I've done some stuff there in the past, and just it's a fun media. So once that gets going over the next couple of weeks, I will let you know. And so give me a watch there. I hope you find it entertaining. So remember to live the life that you dreamed of, because that's the path to true contentment. Love and encouragement to everyone. See you next week on 7 Every Minute and 7everyminute.com. Thank you.